Super excited to be here today. I'm Liz Harrow. I work with Morgan Stanley's Multicultural Innovation Lab. We're Morgan Stanley's in-house accelerator for tech and tech-enabled companies that are run by a woman or a multicultural founder. So everything that we're talking about today is extremely inspiring. It's the mission that we are working on at Morgan Stanley. And so wanted to introduce our panelists. If you have two main goals that I hope that everyone gets out of today's conversation, the first is I want everyone to be inspired by the amazing stories you're going to hear today. And the second is if you are either in a position of leadership, and I think there were a lot of hands that were raised as board members, or if you're a founder of a new business, I want you to have takeaways for that you can implement in your own business to how to improve mobility for women throughout the workforce. And improve diversity and inclusion. So I hope that you get all of those out of today's discussion. So we'll get right to it. We have a lot of panelists, so we're going to make this a little bit speed dating. Hedvig, do you want to kick it off with an intro?
Yes, just quickly, because I know we have to catch up with time, and as I'm working in an airline industry, I know that punctuality, this is our first priority. So, yeah, I'm the station manager of Air France at JFK Airport, and I've been working for Air France for a little bit more than 23 years now. So yeah, it's quite a challenging and ambitious position because it's very well dominated by males so far. So actually, I'm the first woman within Air France working here at JFK. I succeeded all these men who used to work at the airport. So I'm dealing with more than 105 employees at the airport, and we try to make sure that our employees stay happy with us, and of course our customers, when they are living on time, and they are experiencing the perfect French touch and the French culture.
My name is Lenka Surotchak. I am actually coming from the social sector. I have been leading for the last 20 years in Slovakia, one of the major foundations there, charity organization, and we have been trying to actually have really the social impact, so really address the issue of education in the country, transparency, inclusion and diversity, and we couldn't do it alone as a social sector and as charities, so we work very closely with corporations and we were helping them really just to build their corporate social responsibility strategies. So I have been there, kind of building the gap between those two sectors in advancing the country. And now I am back living in Washington. I used to study here and in New York at NYU. And after returning to Washington, now I work for Slovak American Foundation, helping the businesses to scale up to the United States.
Hi, I'm AJ Twombly, and I'm based here in New York. I am a customer success team manager here at LinkedIn. I also happen to be a first-generation American and a working mom, so all of these issues are of deep importance to me. I'm excited for the panel.
My name is Ricarda. Lindner. I'm the director of the German National Tourist Office, also located here in New York. We are promoting travel and tourism to Germany. We do this in 30 different locations all over the world, serving 40 countries. I'm responsible for our offices here in the US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and Israel. And very much so, I'm probably the second closest person because I also live here in Tribeca, and I'm the mother of two, a 7 and a 12-year-old.
My name is Sylwia Migdal. I'm leading Eastern European Business Group within EY in New York. In New York, we have global desk practice where we have people from all over the world. We are assisting US multinationals in investment in our region. So if someone wants to invest in Eastern European region, we help them to understand the business environment, including, regulatory, legal, tax, and also accounting aspects. Of course, if we have some situation, but this is much less where Polish corporations want to enter US market or Canadian markets. And actually then we connect them with proper team from my colleagues from US or Canadian practice. Yeah, and privately I'm mother of two, and I came here with my husband and two boys, 6 and 10 now in 2015. I came just for 2 years contract, but I'm still here, and I'm going to be here for the next 2 years at least.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Lewin. I'm head of global immigration with Envoy Global. I have been in the immigration industry for over 20 years. I started my career with the US government. I since worked for law firms. I've worked for a large corporate relocation firm, and I have lived in multiple states. I have lived in London for 7 years, where I received permanent residency and ultimately became a dual national. I lived in San Francisco, and most recently I'm in Chicago. I practice what I preach. I'm married to a dual UK-Irish national. He's here in the US on a green card. We're currently going through the process at the moment, and I have a 4-year-old daughter.
Great, thank you so much. Just a couple minutes left. I want to put some of the panelists on the spot, so everyone start thinking. What's one piece of advice that you have for women here who are trying to navigate the workforce just as well as you have? Right next to you, Stephanie, so I'll let you go first.
Don't let people tell you no. Follow your pathway, follow what you want to do. It is possible. Even if you have to have zigzag, if you want to achieve it, you can do it. I have done it. There are a lot of women in the audience who have done it, and I am a firm believer in don't let people tell you no.
So I would say try to build partnership in your personal life, because I totally agree that, you know, for females the challenge is actually challenge is not a husband, but actually this is the issue. Once you are moving, typically men earn more, yeah, and their career is like first in the family, because nobody wants to lose this, you know, earning salaries and their actually chances. And this is the issue. I would totally agree that corporations should somehow think about this, but if we would have men that want to go abroad and they don't expect that someone would find a job for wives because they more often actually decides to stay at home, take care of kids, there will be less women, you know, going abroad. So I would say try to build partnership, try to convince your partner, yeah, that sometimes now we are focusing on my career, it is also important, I enjoy doing this, and I hope we'll go more and more in this direction. It's not easy because this is also stereotypes that sometimes even if you don't have such situation at home, because actually your husband is homestay dad, nobody expects this, yeah? And nobody expects that this family can survive, because most likely they will have issues because he will not be happy and will have just all these issues. So I would say let's start to build partnership at personal level. Yeah, and thank you very much to all men that are here, because I believe it's really important for us that you are here and you are listening, and yeah.
Great. Ricarda, you have the last word here.
Thank you. I think I have 2 advices. First of all, try to find out what you really like and what you're really good at, and then be authentic about it. You don't have to adjust to any workforce. You don't have to be like a man in order to climb the ladder. Just be yourself and be authentic about it. And the other thing is, what I'd like to give as advice, women always think we have to be 100% or 200% at everything. It's okay to get help. It's okay to ask for help. If it's in your private life, if it's in your business life, it's okay not to be always 100%, and just to say, like, you know what, now I need support here, and now I need a little helping hand here, and that's okay too.
Great, thank you. Love that advice. Okay. We'll take some questions from the audience. What is one practical step a male executive can take to help us move beyond one? I'm not sure I understand that question, so we're just going to move on to the second one. Have you noticed a significant negative impact on international diversity in recent years with recent restrictions on work visas? Is this mainly a U.S. problem? Want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So from an immigration perspective, if you look at the headlines, not just here in the US, but around the world, absolutely. Immigrant numbers are at the lowest in the US. There was a New York Times article that recently came out about that. We're seeing the same in the UK, numbers are dropping. We're seeing the same in Australia. It is a global problem that diversity from an international level, especially for immigrants, which are critical to not just the US, but globally, especially in STEM fields, it's a global issue where countries are restrictionist.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and again, visa issues, I think the day has been passed wonderfully without touching on any politics. I don't want to go in there. However, having said that, I think under the current situation makes it even more challenging to get visas. And we have seen this for our employees, no matter how good the references are and the arguments are, the process is much, much longer than it used to be. When it's 6 weeks, we don't have a visa for 6 months. And it's getting so much harder, despite the fact that, again, in the metropolises of the US, there's certainly no unemployment at all. So I think everybody would benefit from that. But right now, it's very, very difficult to get foreigners into the workforce here.
Thank you. Okay, the 2019 McKinsey study on women at work blamed women for not being promoted from individual contributors to managers for the C-suite level gap. How can we fix this broken rung? Anyone? AJ, you look like you want to...
I haven't read the study, but I wanted to go back to that first question because
Sure.
I think the question was around getting beyond the one on the board, getting beyond the one. I would say in terms of practical skills that male bosses can take, and that was the specific around the question, really just check in with your employees. There's so many times where people are really afraid to be vulnerable at work or share what they may have going on at home. And I want to build on what you said earlier. I would say to employees and to managers, take intelligent risks. Show your humanity, and for the women out there, ask for what you need. I've had 3 kids at 3 different employers, and I needed to have a variety of different flexible working hours all 3 different times, and I just asked for it, and it's amazing what you can get if you just ask. And I think that goes for hiring managers as well. Not read that study though.
That's all right, thank you so much. We'll leave it there in the interest of time, but thank you to the panelists for your contributions today, and hopefully everyone comes away inspired by these awesome women. So thank you.